Yeah.
After alarming criminal charges were just filed involving alleged sexual abuse within the Catholic Diocese in Michigan, we're now learning more about the accused. 7 Action News reporter Simon Shaquette shows us who's facing lengthy prison sentences and how the Catholic Church is responding to the charges.
The allegations are stunning and disturbing. A once trusted priest from here in Ann Arbor, along with others, now facing serious felony charges for alleged criminal sexual conduct. A team led by Michigan's Attorney General delivering a bombshell, announcing 5 arrests and charges in an ongoing clergy abuse investigation. Once trusted priests referred to as predators who tried to cover their tracks.
Sexual abuse is never the fault of the victim.
They are clever and attentive in order to deliberately manipulate both the victim and very often their family.
Arrests were made in the last 36 hours all around the country and in Metro Detroit. A total of 21 charges against those who served all 7 dioceses for years in Michigan. Alleged victims ranging in age from 5 to 26. A total of 5 boys and girls.
We're talking about fixing a problem that's gone on for 100 years.
Those charged include Father Timothy Crowley of St. Thomas Rectory in Ann Arbor for 8 counts including criminal sexual conduct with sexual penetration. Father Neil Kalina with the Archdiocese of Detroit out of St. Kiernan Catholic Church in Shelby Township for 4 counts of criminal sexual conduct including abuse involving a minor. Father Vincent DiLorenzo charged in Genesee County with multiple criminal sexual conduct charges. Father Patrick Casey out of Detroit's Archdiocese from St. Theodore of Canterbury Parish in Westland, charged with multiple criminal sexual conduct charges including oral sex during confession. Father Jacob Vellian of Benton Harbor also facing multiple criminal sexual conduct charges. Father Lawrence Ventline of Detroit, an active counselor, has been suspended by licensing and regulatory affairs. He was not charged due to a statute of limitations.
When you hear about things like that, it definitely makes you not want to trust them or the church.
I just hope we can get rid of every, bad seed that is in the church.
In part of a statement, the Archdiocese of Detroit tells 7 Action News, quote, "We regret the pain inflicted upon victim survivors and offer continued prayers for their peace, healing, and pursuit of justice. We continue to cooperate fully with all civil authorities. One sinful criminal act, especially against God's most vulnerable and trusting children, is unacceptable, and one suffering soul too many." If you'd like to read the full statement on behalf of the Archdiocese, just go to our website, wxyz.com. From Ann Arbor, Simon Shaquette, 7 Action News.
What up, though? OG Kenny, O_G_Kenny. Welcome to the 5th edition of Church Crime Sunday. So, Church Crime Sunday this week, I decided to keep it close to home and to focus strictly on church crimes that happen in Michigan. So today, the subject of this conversation is one 80-year-old Gary, I think we say this right, Berthiaume. I want to say it right. It's Berthiaume. I'm going to put the name on the bottom of the screen so you'll get the gist of how to say his name or pronounce it right. So, 2019, September the 27th to be specific, the Lansing Diocese released a list of 17 different, or the Diocese of Lansing released a list of 17 different priests who were officially charged, right, or officially guilty from credible sources that were saying that they were the perpetrators in sexual abuse allegations, right? So this is around the same time where you would have reports in the news that said 1,700 different priests were going unsupervised in the United States. Now these were priests who were once part of a parish or a diocese in whatever location, and they have been properly, not even properly, what is the word they said, credibly accused of committing sex harassment, sex assault, and sexual crimes, period. Sexual misconduct within the Roman Catholic Church. So, what subsequently happened was Gary Berthiaume, along with, I want to say 10 other or 11 other priests, were part of this investigation that went on. 17 involved altogether. Yeah, it was him, 11 more or so priests, right? 5 of them got convicted of crimes. Now, we'll probably touch on that later in a later date. This particular person, Gary, or this ex-pastor, Gary, this ex-priest, Gary, ended up pleading out to 2 counts of criminal sexual conduct in the second degree, as well as one count of indecent, or what they called it, one count of gross indecency, right? So for the two crimes that he was found guilty of, for the two second degree sexual, criminal sexual conduct, for the two criminal sexual conduct charges, he received sentences of 17 months to 15 years. And for the gross indecency charge, he received a sentence of 17 months to 5 years. And this all happened January of this year, 2022. So from the time this report came out in September 27, 2019, to the time he was formally charged in October of 2020, it took them almost a year and a half or so to finally convict and sentence Gary Berthiaume. 80 years old. Had been in the parish for years. Now, these charges weren't new charges. These charges actually stem from allegations that date back to the 70s that included three separate victims. And all of these victims were between the ages of 13 and 15 years old. And they all accused Gary Berthiaume of criminal sexual assault. Now, you would have thought that was it. But no. That wasn't the first time, or, this here wasn't the first time that he was accused of a sexual assault. It just was the first time he got actually caught and put on blast, because in 1977, it was two other minors that accused him of criminal sexual assault, for which he did like a year, 6 months to a year in Oakland County. He did a few months in Oakland County. And at the time, you got to think, these were credible sources as well, reliable sources. The only thing that happened with him after that 6 months time was that he got transferred from Detroit Diocese to the Diocese of Cleveland. And then sometime later in 1987, he was transferred or moved again to the Diocese of Joliet in Illinois. And what's strange about that is, at the time of his arrest for the 2022 conviction that happened in January, they arrested him in Illinois. So I don't know if he had roots there or ties there. Man, so what's deep about this scenario is that for years, we've been hearing allegations of members of the Vatican or the Roman Catholic Church, particularly priests and young boys. Now, if anybody know anything about priests, they're in the same region as nuns or monks, where they take a vow of celibacy, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, get in the comment section, correct me. But it's strange that a lot of these men, a profound amount of these men, 1,700 of these men that went unsupervised. What about the hundreds or potentially thousands that were supervised, or the ones who didn't get caught, the ones who got swept under the rug because of power and politics? It's a sick situation, man. I honestly be going to look for these church crimes and try to cover ones that have a broad range of topics, but it's just so crazy and ironic that a lot of crimes that are committed or perpetrated by former priests or pastors are sexual in nature. And it makes me wonder what is the point of having all of this undue pressure and stress of saying I'm taking a vow of celibacy and I'm never having sex with a woman just to abuse a child? Why not just allow them to be married, or allow them to have some type of, you know what I'm saying, relationship? That would seem to be the appropriate action, man. This dude is probably out by now. They gave him 17 months. Well, no. Yeah, it just happened, but he only got 17 months. He'll be home soon, hopefully. He 80-something. He 80 years old. He'll be 81, 82. And it's like, damn, it's like at that age, did he actually have some type of redemptive quality to himself? Did he actually go through a point of purgatory after all these years from the 70s or from that 1970-something offense? Did he actually go through a phase where he said, you know, I was wrong. Let me purge myself for these ways. Let me correct myself. Who knows what happened in 1987 when he got moved again? You know, and he was a member of several different dioceses at the time. Like, He was a priest at St. Joseph Catholic Church in Wyandotte when he committed the crimes against the 13 to 15-year-olds in the 70s, as well as later on around that same time, a priest at Our Lady of Sorrows in Farmington, right? So you got a pastor, or priest rather, I'm sorry, who's been bouncing around from diocese to diocese and potentially perpetrating sexual assaults on multiple victims at every stop. My thing is, what is the Roman Catholic Church doing that these type of crimes are not being followed as a record? Just listen, the same way a doctor is responsible for repairing you physically when you go through things, right? The same way they have a track record that keeps a record of their different F-ups every time they had a medical malpractice suit or something happened on their watch that wasn't supposed to happen. I think that the people who are supposedly responsible for repairing the most important part of you, your spirit, your soul, should have the same type of record. They should have an oversight committee or something. If they do, correct me. But I'm saying, why is it so many Catholic priests go so many years unchecked, unscathed, undetected when they've committed multiple sexual assaults? Out of those 1,700 different priests that went unsupervised or that were going unsupervised, a lot of them end up reoffending because they end up blending back into society, becoming coaches, counselors, teachers, people in position of power and influence. It's something got to be done, man, because this right here is likened to the pandemic rather that we go through with black murders at the hands of white officers. That fraternal order, and the Roman Catholic Church has its own fraternal order. I mean, we watch movies like Da Vinci Code, and we hear about people like Dan Brown and others who are part of this Illuminati conspiracy and whatnot. We have to be mindful of the fact that there's a lot of things that go on inside of these churches that are sacrificial, that are sacrilegious, and that have nothing to do with being close to God, that has nothing to do with following the Bible or the Torah or the Quran or anything else that's supposed to have you spiritually inclined and teaching you the right way to get to paradise and to get to God. It ain't got nothing to do with that, right? You got all these different pastors who are examples of the fact that you should sometimes be wary of going to church, or these priests that make you wary of going to the Roman Catholics, right? You got all these different scenarios that make me scared to send my daughter off to different programs and whatnot, right? Because you scared that somebody gonna take advantage of them sexually, you know? Hey, how you doing? So my thing is, within the realm of doing the right thing and people that's supposed to be there to help you, what are we to do to make sure they're doing the right thing? Because too many of them going, you know, it's too many pastors and preachers and whatnot who running around booty bandits, pimps, rapists. We got to do something about that. We got to clamp down. I want to know what we can do. I want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? Because I ain't scared, and I ain't into the church powers and all that. I don't really, I don't subscribe to all that. You know what I mean? Because I've seen the different ways that people manipulate religion and religious charters to do the wrong thing, selling dope, hiding guns, hiding bodies. You know what I mean? So get in the comment section, man. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Do not forget to hit the notification bell. Share the content. I don't mind what you comment, for real, for real. It could be good or bad. I respond to all energies the same way, with peace and prosperity and positivity, man. OG Kenny, another Church Crime Sunday. Thank y'all for tuning in. I love y'all. Y'all have a safe rest of y'all Sunday and have a blessed start of the week. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I love y'all. I'm out.